What's up, YouTube? This is Matt, and we're at Texas Toast Guitars, and it's time for another episode of Shop Talk, brought to you by me, inspired by Joy and Chad Wright. And this video is going to do two things. One, it's going to remind all of the Patreon members and YouTube members that tomorrow, Saturday, the February 22nd, 2025, we're going to be doing a Patreon only and YouTube member only exclusive live video where we're going to talk about our neck through project that we've been working on. And I've been out of town for a little while, so I have kind of dropped the ball a little bit on that. But I want to get these guys going a little bit more, which means I think it's time that we do a live update and kind of catch everybody up. So for those of you who are like, what in the hell are you talking about, Matt? On Patreon, and anyone who's a Patreon member or YouTube member has special limited access, unlimited access to a limited video where I'm calling this like an online workshop where in this instance, we're building a neck through, and so you guys I'm showing you every single thing, and you guys can follow along and build your own neck through at your house or your shop, or if you want to go to a wood shop buddy, or go to one of those colleges that has a wood shop. I don't know where your shop is, but anyway, you can take some of this information and you can build a neck through guitar, or you can take like little bits of it and you can make a guitar that's not a neck through. All right, cool. Happy meal for everybody. But in one of the if you're not a Patreon member, you need to go over and sign up right now. Even $1 a month, you get access to our neck through video series. Okay. But before we wrap this video up, because I've already reminded you that tomorrow we're doing the live video. I'm shooting for, let's say, noon Mountain Time. I don't know what time that is where you live, because I don't know where you live. There'll be updates. Don't worry. It's just a reminder. So, but in one of the videos, I was working on a neck blank that was really, really thick, and I'm like, this is spooky. A couple people were like, man, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing that, Matt. Is there any way to make the blank shorter? And I don't know why I didn't think about this until now, but what I want to do is I want to show you guys how I made this blank. If you followed on the video, this sucker was 3 inches tall, and we were machining it 3 inches at a time, and it was a little spooky. So I'm going to show you guys what I did to make it smaller. It does a couple things. It makes the neck blank considerably lighter. So when you're wandering around the shop, you're not lugging around this great big sucker, and it's just easier to manipulate. And I'm going to show you what I did, and let's walk into the wood shop, and I'll show you, and I'll tell you, and it'll be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go over there right now. All right, so I'm in the wood shop. I don't have my little lapel microphone, so please forgive the echo, okay? I know it's an echo. What we're gonna do though is we're just gonna run, and I've been doing this. In fact, this is like right at about 1.5 inches thick right now. I'm gonna run it through the tool so you can see what the tool does, but I'm not gonna change anything, so it's not gonna be kicking up making a bunch of racket and kicking up dust and stuff. So what I discovered, and again, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, was that if I rough cut this out to where it's 1.5 inches all the way through, we're making an SG, so this is actually going to be not quite as tall as 1.5 inches when it's all said and done. So I figured 1.5 inches was great because that's where my necks usually are. That gives me plenty of room for my perfect 7-degree headstock angle. But I figured, you know what? Let's try it. What happens if I rough cut this out and then run it through the thickness sander and get it all evened out? It actually works great. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. So anyway, this is set up from, I just ran this through and it's set up, but we're gonna run this guy through. You will probably hear some cutting, but I'm gonna be moving the camera around, so yeah, we're gonna send this through a bunch of times. So because the neck angle is 2.5 degrees, you can probably see this portion of the neck is flat on the bottom of the sander, and then it kicks up here. Well, it's pretty neat what it does, and I'm going to show you guys this in a bunch of different angles. So if you don't see it now, don't freak out. You can actually watch it when the guides bring it in and suck it down, and I get to the part where it's angled, it just pushes the blank right on down and continues cutting. All right, we're going remote. So one more time. I'm just putting the, hold on a minute. I'm just putting the neck in my thickness sander, and it's got little things that clamp everything down and help tug everything through. So again, you'll be able to see there's that very pronounced angle there. When it gets to that pronounced angle and it pushes down, and when it pushes down, there you go. See, voila. I thought it would be cool to show you one from this angle too. So again, I got the camera in my hand, and I got the and I got the piece in my hand. It's not quite live, but it's pretty good. Okay. So we just stick the neck in. I'm gonna actually speed it up a little bit here so we're not watching. All right, let's come over to the outfeed side. You'll actually see what happens on the outfeed side is when it gets to that angle, it's actually going to raise the outfeed side. See? I'm not touching it. It's just doing it. All right. Now there is a little bit of a transition right here. It's slightly lower, but again, remember, the SG shape that we're doing is going to be not quite as tall as this is right here, 1.5. The SG is about 1 3/8 usually. And I like to start with the headstock end first so that it actually gets taller right here. And what's going to happen is when we go to shape this neck, I'm actually going to grind all this material away that's at the same level as all this back here. So we'll grind all this stuff away, and it's going to be great when we go to shape the neck. And the really cool part about this is now, again, I'm not wandering around with 3 inches of neck and bonking that into stuff. But more importantly, when it's time to cut this profile, it's considerably easier because it's half the thickness, you know what I mean, or in this instance half the height. So it's a way easier deal to do this than it was if you watched the Patreon online learning course. So again, I'm glad we had a chance to do this. It was again, I don't know why I didn't think of this or why I didn't think it was going to work, or you know, it's one of those kind of light bulb moments, and even at 54 years old, I still have a lot of those. If you guys like this kind of thing, you should come over to join us on Patreon. You know, the patrons of Patreon support me not just financially, but emotionally. So join us on Patreon and come hang out with us. Like I said, if you're not a Patreon member, you need to go and sign up right now. Okay? If you and even $1 a month, you guys get access to this content. By the way, if you're on YouTube, if you're signed up as a YouTube member, you get the same access to the same content. Somebody asked me once, like, what's better, Patreon or YouTube member? Honestly, I don't know. I think I get paid a little more money per dollar from Patreon, but I could be way off. Don't quote me on that. Guys, if you're having a good time, do whatever you want and enjoy it. So let's build some guitars. Until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. We'll see you Saturday, the 22nd of February for the, if you're a Patreon or YouTube member, for the live Q&A on neck through building. And maybe you guys want to talk about this. These are going to be so cool. All right, guys, have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next time.